when you're trying to fix your sleep schedule. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've been held back because I cannot get a hold on my sleep schedule. Okay. Let me put it this way. I can wake up whenever. I just need, you know what I mean, like a little heads up. But when it's just like a regular average day, sometimes, man, my alarm, you know what I mean? It's like I've become numb to it somehow, some way. So obviously there are alternatives, you know what I mean? But sometimes, man, you have one of those nights where it's like you stay up really late, and then as soon as you go through it, and then you finally sleep, and then you wake up like at a later time than what you're used to, and now you're like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? It's that feeling of you push the limits of what your sleep schedule is, and then once you push it, then when you have to wake up, you wake up a little later. You wake up a little bit past what you're used to. You wake up, and then everything now is all out of whack, out of schedule. And then if you have to like pull an all-nighter just to fix it, it just ruins everything, and you start being more cranky, more tired, more all of this other stuff, and it's not worth it. So for me, I feel like the best thing to do is just to like, okay, let's accept that we've ruined our sleep schedule. Okay, that's the first step. Second step is to figure out, okay, if I want to fix my sleep schedule, I have to take the right precautions, right? I have to take the right steps in order to basically fix my routine. So it's not necessarily bending everything that I usually do. It's about how can I stick to that routine and figure out how to wake up. That's the goal, is that like I have to go to sleep how I usually would go to sleep, and then if I wake up a little more tired than usual because the night before I ruined my sleep schedule, or like I ruined when I usually go to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Like then you have to figure all that out. But as for right now, I'm in that predicament. I'm in that place where I have to fix it because I missed something. And because I missed it, now I feel like I ruined that part of the day. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, darn, I didn't accomplish what I was trying to accomplish. You know, so it feels a bit of a miss, but at the same time, I'm not, overly upset about it, mainly because I know that I have tomorrow still to like do more. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about tomorrow. You know that there's going to be another day, and you're going to be able to get up and basically just try again, you know? I've been in this spot before. I think a lot of people have, where it's just one of those days, one of those times where you wake up and you feel like you're going to be able to get on schedule, but you're stuck in bed for some reason. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean to stay in bed for so long. Or like you wake up and you're like, you look at your phone, or you try to figure out like, what time is it? And then you realize, no, I missed something. I woke up too late. It's late in the day. It's too, you know what I mean? It's a big bummer. That's what that is. And that's what it is with messing up your sleep schedule. That's how it is when you break away from your routine. It's more so like, it's really annoying that, oh man, my internal clock wasn't working. It's now at a point where I have to take all of these steps. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't really need an alarm anymore. I could just wake up at like 7 a.m. You know what I mean? I hope people understand that, because I used to be able to do that. That was so cool to me back in the day when I was in school, or like in elementary school or middle school or whatever. I didn't need like my alarm clock anymore. But then again, I also did have my mom to like kind of wake me up or let me know, hey, it's time to go to school. So I guess that's also like a big factor in it. But now I have to do it on my own, and it's just, a problem. You know what I mean? When I have to rely on myself, I guess. But I do remember that as soon as I got into the routine of it, I could wake up On the weekends, not even school related, I would wake up on the weekends and I would wake up early, just like a regular school day, you know? And then I would go downstairs and I would like turn on the TV and watch cartoons. Man, those are the good old days. That was the life, you know. Now now I wake up too late. You know, if I don't wake up to routine anymore, I wake up late and then I end up feeling like, "No, how dare I? I've ruined the day," you know. It just feels like it feels like you already woke up and you lost, you know? That's not the that's not how it should be, you know, not one bit. But unfortunately, that's the way that it is. I think I think one of the best ways to wake up, or I mean, I guess for a lot of people, the way that they wake up or give them that little extra boost is they drink caffeine, but I don't know. I guess I guess that doesn't really work, huh? And not in this situation because you need to wake up first before you can drink the coffee. So if you don't wake up and you don't have your coffee yet, then it's like, oh, that dismisses the whole point. So coffee's for after you wake up, not when you're still asleep and you need to get out of bed. So that doesn't really help fix the sleep schedule. It keeps you awake when you're really tired. Maybe that's the trick is you drink some coffee late at night when your sleep schedule's all messed up. You drink some coffee, okay? And then after you drink that coffee, it'll just keep you up for the rest of the night. And then you go do what you have to do, and then you have to figure out like how to stay awake throughout the rest of the day, I guess. That seems like the only solution really to basically just pull an all-nighter and figure out what to do from there. But fixing your sleep schedule, I mean, it could be any number of things. It could literally be taking a nap during the day. You ever take a nap during the day? They're very they're very nice, but then once you realize you slept longer than you intended, right? Like let's say you're like, "Oh, you know what? Let me take like a 30-minute nap, like half an hour nap, you know what I mean? Just sit there, hang out, do nothing, just take a little bit of a break, you know what I'm saying? Now, you didn't intend to sleep 3 hours, but you did. And now come nighttime, you can't sleep. So it's like, oh, darn it, if I didn't take that 3 hour nap, I wouldn't be in this situation. So then, how do you fix that? You can't stay awake because if you stay awake, meaning like you can't pull an all-nighter because if you pull an all-nighter, then your sleep schedule is going to get even more messed up. And then you're going to need like a 6 hour nap, you know, during the day. And that's not what you want. What you want is that 3 hour nap and then on top of it, have like a 7-8 hour sleep right afterwards. So you're really getting more sleep than you deserve, but your body's staying awake more longer than what you can really anticipate or what you really need it for. You know what I'm saying? So how do you fix that? And then it's just a matter of you go to bed like you usually would, you know what I mean? And you stay in bed, you try to sleep. And then come the next day, no nap. You got to push through it. Yeah, that's really the best I got for that. What else is there? I guess everybody's sleep schedule is different, huh? Because if you work like late at night, then you have to sleep during the morning and the afternoon or whatever, and then wake up and then go to work, stay up. I don't know, I'm always interested to see like that whole, like I'm interested to know like a person's routine or like their the differences between like a night shift job and a morning to like a 9 to 5 and then like a 5 to 9 or whatever. I was always interested in that. Always interested to see like that difference or the midnight shift that works the same job as somebody else, you know, that works earlier in the day. So Let me think. If you go to work, okay. Regular routine has to go to sleep at night, wake up in the morning, and then go to work, and then throughout the day you work, right? And then nighttime routine. So if you're working the night shift, you have to. Okay, so when do you get back from home? When do you get home? That's the real question. That's when your day really starts. So if you work the night shift, okay, let's say they give you. Let's be generous here and say that the job gives you 7 hours to go home and sleep, and only 7 hours to go home and sleep. Not to mention like a few extra hours of, I guess, relaxation. I don't know. But that's being pretty generous. Okay, so let's say you get home, you work at night. Let's say you get home at around. Let's say you get home at like 8 a.m., something like that. 9, 10, somewhere in that general area, okay? You get home at like 9, 8 a.m. Then you have whatever it is that's on your to-do list afterwards, right? So you're already coming off of work. So let's say you go grocery shopping, okay, that morning. Then you come home, you put the groceries away, and then you come home and you shower because you just worked at school. I mean, you just came back from work, and now you're like, you want to get clean for the rest of the day, so that way you can go to sleep. And then after that, you have to cook, you have to eat, you have to get ready for everything else, and then you're ready to go to sleep. So how long would all that take, roughly? Let's say maybe by like 1 p.m. you have to go to sleep, and then 7 hours later it'll be 8 p.m. and then you wake up, maybe you eat like your version of breakfast, and then you get ready for work. Yeah, I mean, it's all different, you know what I mean? I'm interested to know in those kinds of, how do they, because everything happens during the day, so how do they fix their schedule? You know what I mean? Like, how do they fix their schedule to make it what they want it to be, or to get the most out of it? Because I imagine if they work at nights, they don't have like, if they get like a day off, then they'll probably like spend that night going to like, let's say they go to like a concert or whatever, you know what I mean? If they spend that night going to a concert or whatever, then they ruin their whole sleep schedule, and then now it's like, oh no, well no, actually they don't. Because the concert would be at night. And that's when they usually work. Actually, that's pretty cool. So, for somebody who works in the morning, staying up late at night to go to a concert on their day off ruins everything for them. But if you work the night shift and then you have a day off and then you go to like a concert or whatever, that your sleep schedule doesn't really get ruined. It just becomes like a daily, part of your routine now. It's like, instead of going to work, I'm going to this concert. That's actually pretty cool. But that's obviously what you choose. That's the balance of what it is. I think that the longest people have ever gone without sleeping is like maybe 6 days. I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it's 6 days, because I know that like if you don't sleep for 7 days, you're going to have some terrible, terrible effects on your body. I mean, even 1 day without sleeping, I'm a groggy, cranky mess. So just about, how do we, I don't know, how do we adjust properly? I guess it's just a matter of like clearing your schedule out so that way you can figure it out. Or this has happened for me, or or to me, or how I think is that because I'm able to like adjust myself whenever I need to, like I said, I can wake up whenever. It's just that like sometimes on a daily regular routine, I'll mess up my sleep schedule and then now everything's ruined. But I can fall back into it. I just have to it takes preparation. That's what it is. That's all it takes is once you ruin your sleep schedule, you have to prepare to fix it. So, for me to fix it, I really have to I have to make sure that my phone will alarm after alarm after alarm to wake me up to get me ready for the day. And then once it does, I just have to tough through it. That's the best way I can describe it. That's the best way that I can. That's the only way I know how to do it. Is just, you know what? I messed up today. Let me take a break. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll fix it. You know, the next day, or I'll take this. I'll take this L for the day, and then tomorrow I'll fix it completely. And that tends to work more often than not. I'll get back on track, but. Don't you ever think about like those, I don't know, like those monks who like don't have any kind of alarms or whatnot? They just kind of wake up. That level of like, I guess discipline, that level of no reliance on technology or anything to basically wake you up is pretty cool. But because they grow up that way or they choose that lifestyle, I imagine it's easy to like, I mean, I guess it's about the equivalent of me choosing to wake up with an alarm. It's really no different. It's probably no different than, yeah, it's no different than when I was a kid and I didn't need the alarm to wake up anymore. They just woke up. They got through their day and then they sleep and then they wake up and it just becomes a part of the routine. It becomes a part of their lifestyle. And everybody's lifestyle can change. That's why it's like when you travel, you get like that jet lag or you don't sleep at the regular time, you know? But when I'm on vacation, like the time difference between California and New York is different. We're 3 hours behind and they're 3 hours ahead. So because of that, when people travel over there, they have to, I mean, if people from New York travel to California and people from California travel to New York, the people who go to New York will more likely I guess the people from California would have a tougher time adjusting to the 3 hour time difference than the people from New York, because if you're from New York, you come over to LA or whatever, then your usual bedtime would be like, yeah. So what would usually be midnight over in New York would only be 9 p.m. here, and then they go to sleep, and then they wake up the next day, and they're early, you know? Whereas if you're from California and you go over there, by the time you go to sleep or whatever, you're ahead. So now you're missing out on a part of the day because you're trying to adjust to that thing. But when I went over there, I was really excited and I was like, oh boy, New York, you know what I mean? So I was able to like wake up, or I was able to adjust pretty quickly or get my day started because there was so much I wanted to do. But I imagine if you like live there or if it's become regular for you, then it's not that big of a deal, you know? And that goes for everything. But we're talking about fixing the sleep schedule. Because New York City is the city that never sleeps, or it's just that constantly something's going on in that city. I can only imagine how difficult it must be for like people to, I don't know. Because I think about like how noisy the city is or how much people move or how much people do things, that it has to be pretty annoying if like a delivery truck or whatever, you know what I mean? One of those big trucks are like making a delivery and they're trying to like back up into a space and they go beep, beep, beep. Or if a car alarm goes off or somebody's getting mugged or whatever, right? Like the noise of the city is constantly happening. So I don't know how busy or like, I don't know. I guess you just get used to it, huh? You figure it out. You learn to adapt to the environment, I guess. And if you're really tired, you'll sleep no matter what. But it's about getting on a good routine, on a good schedule, I suppose. But what about those people who have daylight all the time? There are places in the world where they have no nighttime. How do they, I imagine it must be pretty cool because then they don't like miss out on the day, but then there's like no set. I guess I imagine they have like a schedule of like when to go to sleep or whatnot, but I guess none of that really matters, huh? If it's daylight the whole time, then you don't really have to worry about going to sleep at night because it's just going to be daylight when you wake up again. So what's the I don't know, what's the difference between like going to sleep at night or going to sleep during the day? I guess you're just going inside, but like, what am I trying to say here? If it's all day outside all the time, then going to sleep, like choosing to go to sleep would feel like a crime because it's not nighttime. But there is no nighttime. Or like internally, we might have like we look at the clock and we go like, oh, it's 9 p.m. We look outside, we're supposed to associate it with like it being dark outside and the moon is out and the stars and it's dark outside. But for them, it's still daylight out there. So they have to just, I don't know. It's just such a weird concept to think about. But it's no different than like taking a nap during the day or going to sleep during the day so that way you can wake up at night to go work a night shift, I guess. It's just the environment. You learn to get accustomed to it. You learn to figure out you learn how to adjust to it. What else is there? Oh, sorry. When was the last time I took a nap outside? I'm trying to think. I think I fell asleep in my backyard once on like a chair or whatever. That was pretty good, but I don't remember. I don't think it really messed up my sleep schedule. It was just a matter of like I was knocked out and then I woke back up and then there was still the rest of the day ahead of me. I don't know. That's such a weird, I guess that's a bit of a weird thought or like a weird place to be in to like take a nap. I remember I read this book. Not this book. I think this teacher told me about this book, about how this blind kid was trapped on an island. And they were trying to figure out like, okay, how does he figure out what time of the day it is or how dark or what time of the day it is? And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, the sun. The sun would go up in the sky and they would be able to feel the heat. And they would be like, okay, it's daytime. And then depending on, I guess, like, where the sun is in the sky, it would hit him in the in the face or in the head at different places, and he would be able to guess like, okay, it's about to get dark, so let me get ready. Something like that, you know what I mean? I thought that was really fascinating. That kind of man versus nature, but he's blind. How do you figure it out? How do you survive, you know? That's another thing, survival. Sleeping is a part of survival, so how do you create this? That's why I like camping videos, or like people who like, you know, those videos where the guy will create like a cabin out of nothing. They'll literally go to the woods with like just an axe, and they'll they'll go to the woods with just like an axe and maybe some like tape or string or whatever. They'll have like an assortment of stuff in their backpack, and then they'll chop down trees. They'll make like a little fort. They'll dig out like a little area. They'll do like the whole thing, and then they'll make like a little fireplace inside so that way they stay warm. And then afterwards they'll just walk away. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, that was, I mean, not a big waste, but it's like they put in all that work just for one night, and now they have to walk away. It's just kind of funny. But I imagine that routine, like that daily routine of like having to wake up and build or wake up and work, is the best. It's basically the best way to make sure that you, what's it called? It's the best insurance for somebody to sleep throughout the night. You know what I mean? And that goes for like hunting and you know, maybe traveling or voyaging out and about, you know what I'm saying? Overall, when you're trying to fix your sleep schedule, I say that the surefire way is to just live your day normally, and then when it's time to wake up again the next day, you just got to figure out a way to power through it. Now you know how to fight it, you know. Prepare. If you know that you wake up and you're going to be extra groggy, and you're normally like somebody who drinks coffee to like maybe give them that pep in their step, that's what you got to do. You got to make sure you wake up early, on time, and then get yourself ready for everything else that you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just a preparation thing. Just prepare yourself. That's all. And after that, you'll be right as rain. You'll be able to move on. Do what you got to do. And I'm mostly talking to myself here. Future me, if you mess up your sleep schedule again, because you most likely will, take it from past you. Okay, listen up. You gotta just prepare yourself. Okay, you're gonna be tired, but you're gonna be able to power through it. Don't worry about it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.